Today I'd like to share with you about being faithful as a servant of God from 2 Corinthians chapter 6. First, I want to ask you, have you ever heard a preacher or anyone engaged in Christian ministry, it might even be in an advertisement online or on television, basically saying, if you become a Christian, then everything in your life's going to be wonderful and you're never going to have any physical problems and you're going to get wealthy, and it's sometimes referred to as the prosperity gospel, the idea that all you have to do is say a few magic words and make yourself a Christian, and then you're never going to have any problems and your life's just going to be peaches and cream for the rest of all time. Well, the New Testament tells us that that basically is a bunch of nonsense. It is absolutely false. And one consequence of that is that sometimes people feel like when they are suffering, when they're going through hardship, when they're facing difficulties that are just on the verge of almost breaking them, that people can feel like, did I do something wrong? Where is God? Did God abandon me? Because if God was with me, I wouldn't be going through this heartache, this grief, or this affliction. And it's really important to understand that going through hardships does not mean that we have necessarily been unfaithful or untrue. It doesn't mean that God hasn't been or isn't with us. And what we are called to as a faithful servant of Christ is to endurance. And this is what Paul shares about in 2 Corinthians 6, beginning at verse 4 through verse 7. And I really need to hear all this in its totality. Paul writes, "But as servants of God, we have commended ourselves in every way through great endurance, in afflictions, hardships, calamities, beatings, imprisonments, riots, labors, sleepless nights, hunger, by purity, knowledge, patience, kindness, holiness of spirit, genuine love, truthful speech, and the power of God, with the weapons of righteousness for the right hand and for the left." I hope that hearing what Paul went through will just be a basic reminder and encouragement. Certainly, Paul was as faithful as they come in the New Testament, arguably the greatest church planter, missionary, evangelist. He wrote a good chunk of the New Testament, and yet his life, his ministry, was filled with afflictions and hardships and beatings and riots, and he went through so much hardship, and he went through it by trying to maintain purity and knowledge and patience and kindness and all those positive virtues, including genuine love and truthful speech. If you're going through a really difficult or challenging time right now, I encourage you to look in your own Bible at 2 Corinthians 6, verses 4 through 7, and take a few more moments to just ponder all that Paul endured for the sake of Jesus and the sake of the gospel. I often will look at these verses if I think life's getting a little hard, and it's a quick perspective restorer for me. It could be a lot worse. Nobody's beaten me lately. No one's thrown me in prison lately. I have enough food to eat whenever I need it, and the list goes on. So may God encourage you and give you the endurance you need, whatever you're facing, to get through today and tomorrow and all the days to come.